Handing your child their first smartphone starts a silent countdown you cannot pause. Without clear boundaries, that little screen quietly reshapes their sleep, their focus, and the trust between you two, whether you notice it happening or not. Most parents think locking down the device with strict rules is the answer, but that approach actually guarantees a rebellion. By the end of this, you will have a fully configured safety net on their phone that protects them without starting a daily war. Let us take a breath. I know that staring at a blank parental control dashboard can feel incredibly intimidating. You are looking at dozens of toggles, sliders, and menus, and it is so easy to just flip every switch to maximum restriction and hope for the best. But that is exactly where things go wrong. When we treat this setup like a security system instead of a parenting tool, our kids feel it. They feel managed, not guided. So, before we click a single setting, I want you to picture the outcome we are actually aiming for. We want a phone that is a tool for their independence, not a leash that they are constantly trying to slip. When you first open the control panel on your own device and link it to their phone, the very first screen you will see is the overview dashboard. It looks a bit like a mission control center. Resist the urge to start clicking around randomly. The first configuration we need to tackle is the daily screen time limit, and this is where most parents make their biggest mistake. They set a flat number, like 2 hours, and walk away. But a flat number ignores the reality of a child's day. Instead, I want you to navigate to the time management section and look for the option to set a daily schedule. Here is where you build the rhythm of their digital life. You will see a grid representing the hours of the day and the days of the week. Picture this, it is a Tuesday night. You want the phone to essentially go to sleep at 8 o'clock so their brain can wind down, but on a Friday, you want that curfew pushed to 9:30. You set these blocks directly on that grid. This is your foundation. You are not just limiting time, you are protecting their sleep and their homework hours without having to nag them every single evening. But that is only part of the story. What happens when they are using their allowed time, but they are using it in a way that drains them? This brings us to the next critical configuration, and it is the one that requires the most nuance. Navigate over to the App Management or App Blocking section. You will see a list of every single application installed on their device. The temptation here is to just block the obvious games and social media platforms. But think about what happens when you do that. You create a forbidden fruit effect. Instead, we are going to configure this using categories. Most parental dashboards allow you to group apps into education, social, entertainment, and utilities. I want you to go through their phone together, or at least review the list carefully, and assign these categories. Then, look for the setting that allows you to set time limits for specific categories. Imagine being able to say, you can have unlimited time for reading and educational apps, but only 45 minutes for entertainment. This teaches them how to allocate their digital budget. It shifts the conversation from you being the bad guy saying no, to them learning how to manage their own choices. Now, here's a detail most parents never notice. Down at the bottom of the app management screen, there is usually a toggle for blocking app installations from unknown sources or restricting the App Store. You must turn this on. If you do not, a clever 10-year-old will simply delete the game you blocked, go to the store, and download a slightly different version of it, or download a calculator app that secretly houses a game. By locking the installation permissions, you close that loophole instantly. If you want calmer, more confident parenting in a screen-filled world, sticking around is probably the simplest way to stay one step ahead of what your kids are facing, because the digital landscape shifts faster than any single rulebook can keep up with. Now here is where it gets interesting, and where a lot of parents hesitate. We need to talk about location tracking. I know the word tracking can feel heavy. It can feel like we are crossing a line from parenting into policing. But when you configure this correctly, it actually reduces anxiety for both of you. Go to the location or safety section of your dashboard. The first thing you will do is enable location sharing. Make sure it is set to high accuracy, otherwise, the map will just show them in the general vicinity of a neighborhood, which defeats the purpose. But do not just stare at the live map. That is a trap. Watching a little dot move across the screen in real time will only make you neurotic. The real power of this setup is in the geofencing configuration. Look for the option to create safe zones or alerts. You will draw a radius on the map around their school, your home, and maybe a grandparent's house or a regular after-school activity. Once you configure these zones, you set the alerts to notify you only when they arrive at or leave these specific places. Think about the peace of mind this brings. You do not need to text them asking if they made it to school. The system quietly pings your phone the moment they walk through the school gates. And if they leave the school zone at an unexpected time, you get an alert. You can then call them and say, "Hey, I saw you left campus. Is everything okay?" That is not spying. That is looking out for them. It keeps the communication open and based on care, rather than suspicion. But there was one real problem with location tracking that I see all the time. Parents check the history log too much. They start looking at where the phone was at 3 in the afternoon on a random Thursday. Resist this urge. The tool is there for safety and logistics, not for auditing their every move. Trust the alerts and let the rest go. If you are wrestling with how to balance their need for privacy with your need to keep them safe, I put together a free sample chapter of my Parenting in the Digital Age guide. It is linked right below in the description, and it breaks down exactly how to navigate these tricky conversations without the eye rolls and the slammed doors. It is a quick read, but it will completely change how you approach the digital rules in your house. Because here is the secret that no tech tutorial will ever tell you. The configuration we just walked through is completely useless if you do not handle the introduction correctly. The part most parents miss comes right after the setup is finished. They hand the phone back to the kid and say, "I put some controls on this. Don't try to bypass them." That approach guarantees they will try to bypass them. Instead, I want you to picture sitting down with them at the kitchen table. The phone is unlocked, the dashboard is open on your screen, and you are looking at it together. You say something like this, "I love you too much to just throw you into the deep end of the internet without a life jacket." These settings are not here to punish you. They're here to protect your brain while it is still growing and to keep you safe when I am not standing right next to you. Show them the screen time limits. Show them the app categories. Show them the location zones. Demystify the technology. When kids understand exactly how the guardrails work, they are significantly less likely to try and break them. They realize it is not a mysterious black box controlling them. It is just a tool their parent is using to help them navigate a complex world. And this one small shift changes everything. It moves you from being the warden to being the guide. Of course, they will still push back. They will complain that their friends do not have these limits. They will say the downtime is ruining their social life. Let them be frustrated. Their frustration is not a sign that you are doing it wrong. It is a sign that the boundaries are actually working. When they complain, do not get defensive. Validate their feelings. Say, "I know it is frustrating when you are in the middle of a game and the screen locks. I get it." But then hold the line. If you cave the first time they argue, they learn that the boundary is actually just a suggestion, and the dashboard settings become meaningless. However, this does not mean the settings are carved in stone. One of the best features of these parental dashboards is the ability to send temporary extensions. If they are genuinely using the phone for a school project and need an extra 30 minutes, you can approve that directly from your own phone. Use this feature generously when they are being responsible. It shows them that the system is flexible and fair and that you are paying attention to how they are actually using the device, not just blindly enforcing a timer. What happened next surprised even me when I started doing this with my own kids. Once they realized I would grant extensions for good behavior, they started managing their time better to earn those extensions. They began to see the phone as a privilege that could be expanded through responsibility rather than a cage they were trapped in. To keep this momentum going, you need to institute a weekly review. Pick a time, maybe Sunday morning over pancakes, where you open the dashboard together and look at the week's data. Do not use this to point out their failures. Use it to celebrate their wins. Look at the screen time report and say, "Wow, you spent 3 hours on educational apps this week. That is awesome." Or look at the location history and say, "I loved that you were at the park with your friends all afternoon." If you see a problem, like they are staying up too late on a specific app, do not just silently tighten the restrictions. Talk about it. Ask them what is happening. Maybe they need a different wind-down routine. Maybe the app is specifically designed to be addictive, and you need to work together to find a replacement. This weekly check-in keeps the communication flowing and ensures the settings evolve as they grow. Because they will grow. The limits you set for a 10-year-old will be completely inappropriate for a 13-year-old. The beauty of configuring this dashboard correctly from day one is that you are building a framework that can scale. As they demonstrate responsibility, you gradually loosen the screen time limits, you expand the allowed app categories, and you shift the location tracking from active alerts to just passive check-ins. You are essentially training them to drive a car. First, you are in the passenger seat with your foot hovering over the brake. Then, you let them drive around the empty parking lot. Eventually, you are letting them drive on the highway while you listen from the back seat. The parental control app is just the brake pedal. Your goal is to slowly take your foot off it. What is the one digital boundary or screen time rule that actually works in your home? I would genuinely love to hear your story and see what strategies are working for your family, so let me know in the comments below. Setting up these controls is not about creating a perfect, conflict-free childhood. There is no app in the world that can replace your relationship with your child. The technology is just the scaffolding. You are the building. When you configure these screen time limits, app blocks, and location alerts with intention and empathy, you are doing something profound. You are telling your child that they are worth protecting. You are showing them that you care enough to learn how their digital world works, even when it feels complicated and overwhelming. And the most beautiful part is that one day, they will realize it. They will look back and understand that those notifications, those time limits, and those location zones were not restrictions. They were the quiet, steady proof that you were always looking out for them, guiding them safely until they were ready to navigate the world entirely on their own.